Hello and welcome back to Get Great at Maths. I'm here to help you pass your maths exam, so hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to look at keywords, key formulas and how to gain top marks. So let's get ready to get great at maths. This is a question on using the kinematic formulas or the SUVAT equations. Now, 3 of the SUVAT equations have been given here. These are just equations involving speed, distance and time and acceleration, and you'll be expected to know what the key values are for each of the questions. So the key information in this question are that we've got kinematic formulas. They are these 3 equations down here. There are actually 5 equations that you'll need to know if you went on to do A-level maths, but here they've just given you 3 of the 5. So here you can see these are the equations we're going to be using. You're told that the initial velocity is 20 meters per second. The acceleration of the particle is negative 8 meters per second squared. After time of t seconds, it's travelled 25 meters, and we're going to show that the particle is stationary when it has travelled 25 meters. And this is worth 3 marks. Now, our key facts for this question are that S is the displacement or the distance in a set direction. U is the initial velocity, which is your starting speed. V is our final velocity or our final speed. A is our acceleration. T is time. And you'll be expected to know what these 5 letters represent. Now, some of them are obvious. So T for time is obvious, A for acceleration is time, but U is initial velocity and V is final velocity. One of them is more obvious than the other, that V is a final velocity, but U is an initial velocity, not so obvious, and S as a displacement is not at all obvious. So you will be expected to know that S is a displacement, or you can think of it as a distance in a set direction. Now, you've got to use this information here. Pick which kinematic formula you're going to use to show that the particle is stationary when it has travelled 25 meters. You will also need to know that this word here, travelled, means a distance. So our distance is 25 meters. So in this case, our displacement is going to be 25. So S will be 25. And we also need to know that stationary means that your velocity is 0. So basically, this question here means show that when the particle has travelled 25, so when S is 25, you've got to show that your final velocity is going to be equal to 0. Press pause, have a go at answering the question, and press play when you're ready to hear the answer. So, from the question, we're told that the initial velocity is equal to 20. So we know that U is equal to 20. A is equal to negative 8 because the acceleration is equal to negative 8. S is equal to 25 because it tells us we have travelled 25 meters. Now it says we've got to show that the particle is stationary. So we are going to show the velocity is equal to 0. So we've got to work out what this velocity is, and we've got to show it equals to 0. Now it also mentions the time in this question here, but we're not given a value for the time, so it's pretty irrelevant. And for any SUVAT equation, you need to know 4 bits of information. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of information, or I've got to find the 4th. So the T was unneeded. So you need to look at these 3 equations, decide which one of these equations you're going to use to work out that V is equal to 0. Substitute these values in and then show that V is equal to 0. Press pause, have a go at pressing play when you're ready to hear the answer. Well done, guys. Hopefully you have had a go at choosing these equations. Now you have been given some information, U, A and S, and we've got to work out the value of V. So if I look at the top equation, I've got a V equals U plus AT. So I've got a V, which is what we're trying to work out. U we know is 20, A we know is negative 8, but we're not using T, so this top equation is no use. The next equation is S equals UT plus half AT squared. So S is our distance, we know that is 25. We know U is equal to 20. Now we're at T again, and we don't know what T is, so this equation is no use to us as well, because it's got 2 T's in there, and we don't know what those T values are. So the last equation, we've got a value involving V. So we've got V squared is equal to U squared plus 2AS. Now u squared, u is 20, plus 2 times a, where a is -8, and s is 25. So we've got v squared is equal u squared plus 2as. So we're going to rearrange to get the value of v and show that v is equal to 0. So this is the equation you're going to use, or you should have used. We're going to put the values in. So we've got to show that v is 0, so we're just going to leave v on its own to show that this answer here on the right hand side is going to come down to 0. So if you substitute in all these values, so instead of writing u, you write 20 squared, plus 2, now 2as means 2 times a times s, where a was equal to -8 and s was equal to 25. So substituting in all those values would give you 1 mark. From here we've got to work out the value. So 20 squared is 20 times 20. 2 times 2 is 4, and add on the 2 zeros gives me 400. Then we've got to work out 2 times -8 times by 25. You are allowed a calculator for this, and that will also give you 400. So we've got 400 take away 400, which is just going to give me 0. So v squared is going to equal 0 for your second mark. Now your third and final mark says show that the particle is stationary. So because it says show that the particle is stationary, you then need to say that v is going to equal 0, therefore showing that the particle is stationary. So make sure you've written a concluding sentence to get your third and final mark on this question to show where the 3 marks come from. If you like this video, remember to click like and subscribe. The mark scheme for this question shows there are 3 marks available. M1 is a method mark. There means using your answer that you got in part B, so this is part C of the question, so using the answer you got earlier on. And A1 is an answer mark. SC2 means you can get 2 marks if you showed that V was equal to 0 or you used other values within there. Remember, make sure you always state that V is equal to 0 and you're showing what you are getting to when it is a show that question and you have stated clearly what you're doing. Remember to like and subscribe so we can all get great at maths. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below to let me know what you would like to see in my next video. See you next time!